Alright, so probably gonna have a bit more background noise in this video. Microphone in my headphones decided to shit itself, so yeah, see how we go. Got the R34 in the shed now for good. Ran out of rego, so yeah, got it in here with the 180 and get stuck into doing some work on it. So probably going to start off today with doing the swapping the front end over and test fitting up the Z-tune stuff and getting all the panel gaps set as good as I can for now. So yeah, probably get stuck into that. Sit the camera somewhere and probably time lapse it because it'll be quite boring to sit through the whole lot. So yeah, let's get stuck into it. Alright, so the front end's off now. Probably run through the little bits and pieces you need to do this conversion and why you need them. And then, yeah, we'll get to chucking the panels on. So, first thing you're going to need, if you're chucking a GTR front end on, is the bonnet hinges. So, it's a bit hard to tell with them just sitting here, but the GTR, this section here where your bonnet sits on is about, I'd say about 3 millimeters taller. So it actually holds the bonnet up a little bit higher, and also the offset of the from the hinge bolts to the bonnet bolts is spread further apart on the GTR one. It's, let's see if you can see it here. Yeah, the GT and the GTT one's a lot narrower from here to here versus the GTR one. It's a lot wider spread. So yeah, wider spread in the bolt holes and it sits up taller. Next, the bonnet hinge. So you can see if you just sit them next to each other, how the lever there just to get the release to pop off is a bit taller. So it's literally just the difference between this guy here and this one here. So it's a lot taller. So that's not necessary to buy. I have seen people cut these off and just weld them up higher. It's no big deal doing that. That works as well. So yeah, you can either extend that rod up to the right place or just buy the GTR one if you need. So yeah, and next we've got the headlight brackets. So you're gonna need these because they're quite a different shape. So you see just in there how they're they differ in the way that the bracket mounts to the Rio. So these ones come out and across to the GT Rio. They bolt into that tab there. Whereas these ones go in on the inside of the bracket. Oh, it's upside down. Sorry. Alright, to the inside of the bracket there, and the aluminium Rio bar that the GTRs have, which I still need to purchase. So yeah, so there's that, and then there's also this tab here up the top that these don't have. So that's where your retainer here, those two sections there, they mount into these top tabs here either side, and that holds the front of the bar up. Without all of that, the front of the GTR bumper droops down and doesn't sit in the correct spot. Looks pretty shitty. So yeah, they're relatively inexpensive. So yeah, new brackets for the headlights, chuck the retainers on, and then yeah, get to chucking the panels on and see what it looks like. While the front end's all off, I thought I'd show you some of the repairs that have been done on this before. So this section here is all standard, but you can see here is sealant over there, so those spot welds have been repaired. If you follow it down the front, there's more sealant, and down here you can see these spot welds have all been drilled out and re-welded, so the whole radiator support's been out. Following around the other side, there's all the same marks here, all non-genuine silicon, all the way down the front here. So yeah, that whole front panel's been replaced, and also it's all the same up here as well. So this whole corner here has been replaced, all that sealant down in there on the inner wheel well. So yeah, this whole front corner, the radiator support's been replaced. So yeah, I mean, it looks like they did a decent job. The sealing job could be a bit neater, but yeah, doesn't look like there's any rust on any of the welds. I'll buzz them back and have a good look after, but yeah, seems okay. Everything's straight and where it should be. So before I bought the car, I did a because I work for a dealership, we chucked the VIN number in and did a history search on the car, and there was no reported crash history in Australia. So either it was done off the books or it was done in Japan before it was imported. So yeah, I mean, that's about it for damage, or on the front end anyway. So yeah, I'll set this thing back up and get stuck into these panels. Just thought I'd show you the difference here with the GT Rio versus the GTR. So the headlight brackets here, usually on the GT they come down and bolt to here, but on the GTR Rio, the big aluminium block that sits in here, they bolt further back here, so they don't actually reach. I mean, if you did want to retain the GT reinforcement or crash bar here, you probably could make a spacer up to go under there and then drill and tap a hole, or nutsert, or whatever you want to do. So you could probably do that to take up that gap there and bolt it in. But yeah, so that's the difference between the GT and GTT versus the GTR. So at the moment I don't have anything to prop these up, so there's nothing to hold the headlights. So yeah, you'd need to rectify that if you were either going to keep this Rio or yeah, have to buy the GTR one. So yeah, anyway, I'll chuck the bumper on it. So there it is, it's all on. So the front bumper's a little bit drooping just because of that gap where those brackets are supposed to bolt to the rear. So you can see there's a little bit of a gap here where the front bumper sits a bit too low. So if I try and hold up on it, it should sit up more like that, and the bonnet will squash that seal down. But other than that, it all fits up pretty well. I haven't messed with the alignment yet, but this bonnet gap here is pretty decent the whole way up. This one here is a bit close at the front here, and it opens up towards the rear. So may need to just enlarge the front hole on the quarter panel a little bit and just open that gap up a little. So yeah, there's that. The gap up here is not too bad. I haven't adjusted any of these holes either, so there's the two brackets on the sides there. I can elongate the holes a little bit, and then this should lift up a touch, come up to meet the the bonnet a little bit. So it's a touch low here, so yeah, I reckon if I drill those holes out a touch and then bring that guard up a little. But door gap is pretty mint. This here is just a tiny bit low, so I reckon when I move that guard up, that body line will match up a little bit nicer. And the door opens perfectly. Doesn't touch the fiberglass at all. It's nice and firm as well, doesn't wobble in. You can see how much wider the GTR skirts are as well. It's a good 1.5 inches wider. So yeah, cool. And then yeah, same on this side here, that gap's pretty nice. Might be able to get it a tiny bit tighter. But, yeah, it's pretty good. Same deal, nice and rigid. And yeah, the door opens nice and smoothly. Doesn't touch any of the fiberglass. So yeah, it's really good stuff. So that's just I've basically just slapped this on and chucked a couple of bolts in, and that's it. So yeah, a little bit of fine tuning and a bit of time spent just getting it all set nicely, and yeah, it should be really good. So I just need to get that aluminium crash bar for the front to support the bumper and the headlights a bit better. But yeah, that's pretty well it. Very, very happy with it. You can see how much more room you get for wheels as well with these. I think they're 15mm wider than regular GTR guards, and I think the GTRs are 15mm wider than the GTs. So yeah, quite an increase in track width. So yeah, looks a hell of a lot better already. So yeah, we'll get to buttoning this up and getting it all fitting perfectly, and yeah, then it's just a matter of getting that crash bar as well. Cool. So yeah, it's one job out of the way. I'll probably end this one here. Yeah, I'll try and think of what to tackle next. I'm trying to get, well, I'd like to get the paint and body side of things completely finished around about the end of the year. So I still need to buy a couple of little bits and pieces for the body of the car. Like I still need to get skirts, and need to get the GTR rear spoiler, and I think that's it. Can't think of anything else off the top of my head. There's probably something else I'm missing, but yeah, at the moment I think it's just the yeah, skirts and the rear spoiler. So once the front end's all buttoned up, I'll might get stuck into doing the rear guards soon. So that'll be a very big job, and involve stripping the interior and getting the windows pulled out for that to happen. So yeah, we'll see. That's a pretty daunting one. So anyway, yeah, I'll leave it here, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it if you're still watching, and yeah, see you next time.